As discussed, I want to propose this tool to do scouting. It's an Android app called SW Maps. There it is. I'm not too sure if it's available on iOS platform. Perhaps it is. So there it is. Obviously, if you're new to this and you haven't created a project yet, it will not ask you to open a project, but only to create a project. But because I did play with it, it stores my previous projects. But for the sake of demonstration, let me rather create a new project and we give it a name. I'm just going to call it Randfontein. Okay. And I say create new project. There we go. Say for instance, OpenServe gives us a FTA and there is an area. First and foremost, you need to define the area in which you're going to work. So now you're going to create a future. I'm going to go into layers and I'm going to create one, a drawn future, and I'm going to call it FDA. FDA, say A1, whatever. It's not a point, it is a polygon, and I'm going to make it perhaps green. Let's make it green, and I say OK. The width of the line outline you can also change like you want to. The fill, I can also make a different color. Let's make it something lighter. It really doesn't matter. All up to you. Bob's your uncle. Now I want to create my FDA area. I need to create a future. Let me call it FDA again. FDA A1. And I'm saying OK. Bob's your uncle. So what happens now, it snaps back to my current location because my GPS of my phone is on and it knows exactly where I am. So when you're in the field, it will locate your position and you can start doing scouting, which is very nice. But let me just go to a residential area there. And I'm going to say, I want to create the FDA area, say add. Now I'm going to add some points, some polygon points for the area in which you're going to design. This is just rough quickly, just to demonstrate. Say for instance, that is it. That is your polygon, okay? Now I want to create features within the design area. That will be poles, manuals and whatnot. Again, I'm going to do this from scratch. You only need to do this once. You can import these layers from previous projects to the one you're working on now. I'm going to say a new drawn feature. I'm going to call this poles. Poles. I'm going to make it a point. The symbol, I'm going to make it perhaps blue. And it's just going to be a filled circle or just a circle like that. It really doesn't matter. It is up to the surveyor, whatever floats his boat. And I say add. Now I can do the same drawn feature, and I'm going to say perhaps IE195 poles. So this will help me to differentiate between poles that are fine and those that needs to be replaced. Again, the symbol I can change. I can make it again a circle, but make it red because that will be a new pole. And I say OK, Bob's your uncle, and add. And again, I can perhaps have underground utility boxes, UUB, that will be manuals, jointing boxes, and so on. It can also be a point, and the symbol can be a square perhaps, like that. Again, perhaps blue, and say OK. So this is just basic. there I've got all the things that I can place within my design area. So this is very basic. I've got UUBs, I-195 poles, polygon, and that's it. Let's go out of here. Then I can start recording our network elements that I'm observing on site. So let's say we go down Parijs and we notice there's a pole there perhaps. This pencil here, what you want to call it, you click on that and you select here what you want to place, maybe poles. And I just click there, Bob's your uncle. I'm going to say add point, and there it places the pole. There it places the second pole, the third pole, and you go on like this effortlessly. And say for instance, yeah, I've got the pole, but there's a problem with it. With the lace here, I'm going to select I-195 pole. I click on that, and I say add point, and there it adds a I-195 pole. Maybe I observe a UUB there. I select a UUB, go there, I say add point, Bob's your uncle, it is placed. So, but that is not where it stops. This, say for instance, I am at this UUB and I see an issue there. I can take a photo. There's a camera icon there. I can take a photo perhaps. Say for instance, that is it. I say okay. And I make a remark. Coping damaged. Okay, and also the coordinates are there, the elevation, the way I held my phone, the bearing, that's a azimuth angle, and I save it. What a bargain. And also on that element, I can add notes and whatnot. When I'm done, say for instance I'm done. I've completed my complete survey. I go to the top left. I can export this whole scouting document. You can upload it, export project, share template. But let me just keep it simple. Share project, GameZ file. We call it Randfontein share. I'm going to just email it to myself. Henry at Nokia. And there you go. So the idea here is that the information is available immediately. Okay, I'm just sharing what my email is showing. So there the email came through. I click on it in real time. There's a Randfontein file that came through. I open it. And there it is. All the features are there. My poles are indicated. That's an I-195 pole, the UUB. That's a UUB. That's an I-195 pole. Beautiful. And this app doesn't cost anything. There's no in-app costs, purchases. And also there are no ads as far as I can see. Obviously there's also some other tools, measuring tools that you can use to measure distances and obviously areas. I tell you what the area is. I think it's very powerful. Thanks a lot, Dave. Cheers.